Good morning and welcome to the AM News with me, Mapita Sibili. Now, in our first story, the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists has called off its strike. The strike, which was started as a disagreement between lab scientists at the Confidential Teaching Hospital, subsequently escalated into a full-blown nationwide industrial action. President of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, Dr. Abu Ramahani, announced the decision to call off the strike at a meeting with Parliament's Health Committee Tuesday.
The recent ruling of an Accra-based High Court and the goodwill we have received from the Parliament Select Committee on Health and the Ministry of Health to help resolve all the issues that caused the industrial action. We therefore wish to appeal to our members of the CAT chapter of the Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists, as well as all the regional chapters who took action in solidarity with CAT, to remain calm and return to work so that NEC will have an opportunity to review all the matters arising out of the occurrence for further decision to be taken going further. NEC would like to assure all members that their matter remains legitimate and will continue to pursue it for proper and effective redress at the national level. So effective today, the strike has been called off. Well, you are here with us and then you heard the request from the committee. And as we said, as a result of the high respect we have for the committee, the strike has been called off. Oh, certainly, we will certainly advise our members. It is the members who take action. And just as it was presented here, if condition remains as it is, and we will not see much change, we have a lot of trust for the committee. And like they indicated, we do not want to place conditionality to them. But we hope that this time round, unlike the previous time, this time round we'll receive a very favorable response.
Still in Parliament, a member of Parliament for Amenfi West, Eric Afol, is accusing national security operatives of confiscating more than 3 million cedis and an unknown quantity of gold in what he describes as an illegal operation in his constituency last month. The operators, who he says were led by former SWAT commander DSP Azugu, stormed a casino, filling station and other facilities. And in an operation he said to be linked to illegal mining, and allegedly assaulted staff of the casino, immigration service personnel and 2 journalists. CCTV footage obtained by the Fourth Estate and the Media Foundation for the West Africa showed the said operators on a rampage. The MP has petitioned the IGP and the Interior Minister demanding sanctions against those involved.
You see, officially, I've not gotten that notice. But if they have done it, I think it's a good step that they've done. And if they have done that, then they have done that according to my petition that I made. Because even from what happened at Ayawaso, Wegon, you know, infamous, what they call it, by-election thing, I don't think nothing has been done about it. So if with this petition, they have moved him, I think there's something going on.
Is there something more you want to see beyond DSP Azugu being removed from the national security that you haven't seen yet in terms of a proper response to the consensus? You
see, actually, I think the ministry and the IGP's office, they've not treated this case kindly. I expect them to have responded to my letter, officially written to me, about the action they want to take. Unofficially, let me put it this way, that they have gone to the constituency to research about what I've petitioned them. They've gone there to the scenes to unofficially investigate about whatever went on. But it's not official. They have not told me, so I won't capitalize on that.
Just to get a sense, what happened at the casino in your constituency that prompted you to then send this petition?
You see, it's not only the casino. The whole thing is beyond the casino's, incidents. You see, they attacked the residents within the community at Senkregwa, attacked shops. Information reaching me is that even a filling station over there was also attacked. So it's not a matter of...
Did they take anything from there? Like it was claimed allegedly they took money from the casino.
That is what I'm coming to say. Per the information I've gathered, they took away about 3 million Ghana cedis.
From the casino or elsewhere?
No, I think the entire operation that they did, with amount of gold, which I cannot quantify now.
Now, Education Minister Dr. Yao Osei-Edu has hinted of a review of schools' ranking system based on academic performance and infrastructure available to schools. Listened-out schools have often been graded alongside A-list schools, but the process has been described as unfair, hence a review of the criteria for schools' ranking. There's more in the following report.
According to the Education Minister, there will be 2 types of schools' rankings. Schools with similar qualities will be ranked separately. 10 schools will be ranked nationally.
Some people will tell you, why are you comparing me to Achimota? I don't have the same facilities as they do. So there are going to be 2 types of rankings that are going to come up. One is the national ranking, and school will be ranked from level 10 to 1. 10 is the highest that any school can get. So if your school is ranked 10 nationally, it means that you are part of the top performing schools in the country. Then we move on to the similar schools ranking, and that is more important to me. We are going to look at schools that receive the same quality of students in terms of academic performance. So we're going to see, okay, schools that had majority of their students coming with aggregate 20 to, let's say, 30.
Dr. Yao Osei-Edu presented citations to 12 top performing schools in the Ashanti region. This move is to encourage other schools to give off their best academically. Tepa Senior High School emerged the top performing school in the Ashanti region.
A group of schools that have truly distinguished themselves. Being the top 10% of Ashanti schools is no mean accomplishment. So every one of you here, you have done a fantastic job, and clap for yourselves.
The Education Minister also visited some senior high schools in the region to interact with students.
22, good. You are so smart. That's +1. Then you come to junior high school, and instead of a box, we'll say X. X is representing the...
During his visit, the minister commissioned a male dormitory at the Sakafia Islamic Senior High School. He promised to build a science laboratory and an assembly hall for the school.
So that we can pave here. We can pave here from that end to that end with pavement blocks, so that when it rains, there will be no dirt here. And when it's dry, there will be no dust here. The next time we're doing construction, my favorite thing is for you to get a science lab. Because I want this school to train the next generation of engineers and medical doctors.
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
Time now for some national science and maths quiz news, and contestants and students of the Mparaiso Senior High School say they will sing Osibisa's 1971 classic song War Yaya at every contest during the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz scheduled for October. They say they draw inspiration from the song, which continues to lead them to victory. They beat Abetefe Prisek and 4 others to qualify on day 2 of the Eastern Regional NSMQ qualification contest. Here's Maxwell Agbobo's report.
Indeed, the road to the October National Science and Maths Quiz is muddy and rough. They've survived the first hurdle on that journey, and indeed they have every reason to celebrate it, and that is how they're celebrating it in Mparaiso Senior High School. What's the inspiration behind you guys singing the song?
The song gingers us whenever we sing it, and so it's a nice experience having it here.
So are we going to see you guys singing the song anytime you win a contest?
Sure. You're going to see us, and as our name suggests, Sumum Bonum. We are always aiming at the highest good, and we'll be able to make it by God's grace. Amen.
Amen.
doing this to honor the past students for sponsoring us, for supporting us in everything. All that we needed, they provided unto us. We are singing this song to celebrate them and sing their praise as well, and also to motivate us to continue.
What did they do for the team?
Oh, they gave us laptops. They gave us a learning room where they stuff it with all that we requested for. Wow. They gave us monetary support, everything we request for, air conditions, printers, internet connectivity, yes, and also smart televisions that will help us to prepare for the program. In fact, they have been very supportive. We are very grateful to them.
Okay, so the coordinator will have the last words.
Impact for the past 7 years has been absent at the national level.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and actually...
15 years?
No, that's my Bangalore number. All right, so actually this year we put in every effort to make it. And luckily, our contest was contest number 7, and it's been 7 years since we went to the national competition. And today being 1st June, that's 1/6. 1 + 6 gives us 7. That means that this is perfection, and that means we had to qualify today. That's why we qualified.
Lighthouse Foundation, a non-governmental organization based in the northern region, has begun sinking 6 mechanized boreholes in some selected communities in the northern region to ease the current water crisis in these communities. The Yogo community, which was in the news a few months ago, is one of the beneficiary communities. Martina Bugri reports.
The Yogo Dam that served about 390 residents in April dried up, leaving women and children with the only choice of digging the riverbed, hoping to find water. It was therefore a day of joy when they officially commissioned the borehole to ease their suffering. Speaking at the commissioning, the Chief Executive Officer of the Lighthouse Foundation, Sheikh Ali Napari, said, having read about the lack of potable water in the community, they were touched and sought for funding from a Salam charity for the construction.
We had information that the community had a lot of challenges with regard to potable water. We came, we paid them a visit, and then we saw the kind of water that they were drinking. You can't call it water. So our donors, Salam Charity, they motivated, and then they promised that inshallah they are going to look for funding. And then after they left, within a few weeks, and the funding came, and we started the project immediately. And today we are commissioning the project for the mechanized borehole for the community, which is numbered about 4,000. There are a lot of community that's in need. And then Salam Charity, within 3 periods of 3 months, we've been able to construct. This is the SIF one. The other 5 is ongoing. The construction has been completed and they are mechanizing it. And we found water. Tuguyapala, and then Tampion, and then Busharu, and then the other village, Ambaria Senior High. Among them is Ambaria Senior High. When you go and see, the population is about 4,000 students, and they don't have potable water. And Salam Charity, in partnership with Life Foundation, will be able to give them mechanized borehole.
Sheikh Ali said they were expecting more boreholes from their funding partners.
And then I will take this opportunity to thank our donors, Salam Charity, for making this possible. And then other communities are going to benefit, and we are going to put in more effort. The information that I'm having, there are more boreholes that are coming. And then we are doing normal work, because there are communities that upon assessment we can't get the borehole. Then we do normal hole. Currently, 7 has been constructed, and then 15 on the way under construction. In 2 weeks, it will be finished construction.
The chief of Yogo, Yogona Idrisu Adam, said they are levying residents for the dredging of their dams to expand the water system.
Men and women to dig small holes around the bed of the river. And we are going to get water. We are going to get water. Now, our hope is that by next year, if the situation doesn't change, we have started living ourselves, we should be able to pay for the greater services, at least to deserve the dam. We have 2 dams in the community. One is a colonial one. When we were young, that was sunk. And this is a recent one. And they have both been drying up. So our prayer is that we should be able to mobilize our people to understand the need to help themselves. And that is our major problem.
And that's how we end the AM News with Prima Peter Sibili. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. The AM show continues.
If you just join us, you've missed a lot. You've missed the news, but we're on to the newspapers. So thank you for joining us right now. Joseph Akable is here. Together, we will go through the papers for you this morning. But did you say you have a quiz?
Yes, there's a quiz, and the question will pop up on the screen if the director is ready.
Why is my producer not discussing these things with me? Like, you allow it to go on air without my prior knowledge.
Yeah, and that's how all proper quizzes are organized. And so a lot of thoughts. You are being asked, what is the number of the parking space containing the car? So there is 1606, 68, 88, then there's a car, then there's 98. So you are being asked to mathematically deduce what the parking space for where the car is should be. Yeah, she's counting her fingers now. Yeah. And so I suspect it may take you a while. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually forwarding this image to you.
Yeah.
So that you can think about it in between the paper review.
Can I open the phone lines?
No, it's for just you.
But where did you find this?
Somewhere.
So did you answer? Did you get it right?
Of course. I always get it right.
How long did it take you?
It took about 2 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
2 minutes because I was doing something while I was trying to solve it. I'm sure if I was doing it directly, it would have taken less.
I have a very wicked producer and director. They are not even saying anything to me in my ears.
They have nothing to say to you.
At least make me look bright on air.
So we'll come back for your answer.
Yeah,
I've sent the image to you so that you can look at it in the course.
I mean, if I can't, I'll activate the phone lines and my viewers will help me out.
Don't worry, the quiz master is here.
No, we don't need your help.
It's very easy. When I solve it, you'll be amazed.
Whatever. Before we get into the newspapers, though, there are some issues trending, and one is the ambulance carting cements. If you haven't seen the video, we're going to show it to you right now on the screen, and then we'll come back with a statement from the ambulance service, and then also read it out to you. So do we have the video? Okay.
We know about that. We best of the commission. Fabra, we find your boots. Mascara, we pass over when you are with it. Well, but because I'm coming to our ranch, if you are by
All right, so this has obviously angered a lot of people because this is a branded national ambulance service vehicle that is essentially carrying cements. This is just what was captured, so you can imagine the number of days that it had carried the cement before this video. All right, so as people got talking, the National Ambulance Service decided to issue a statement. Here is the statement. We're going to put it on the screen and read it out to you. Okay, Joseph, do you have it so that you can read it? I'm not sure I can see from where I sit. Okay, so let's see. We'll just open it up for you. Okay, so here we go. So the National Ambulance Service has completed preliminary investigations into the circumstances surrounding an incident in which an ambulance ostensibly belonging to the service is observed. Check this out, too. Ostensibly belonging to the service is observed in a viral video cutting cement bags. Our investigation have revealed the following. 1. The said vehicle with registration number GV53720 was one of the ambulances awaiting the fixing of minor faults by the supplier before being received and integrated into the National Ambulance Service fleets. 2. The incident occurred on or around March 26, 2021, while the said vehicle was in the custody of the supplier, Service Ghana Auto Group Limited. 3. The said suppliers had caused the ambulance to be sent to its garage to address a minor fault. The National Ambulance Service had earlier declined to take custody of the vehicle because of the said fault. Joseph, you noted what I said in the very beginning when they said ostensibly belongs to them.
Yes.
4. A mechanic of the said garage, Nana Ofosu, who is a gearbox specialist, after the repairs, drove the ambulance toward the Malam Kaswa Winneba Road on a test drive, and during the process employed the vehicle for his private purposes. The ambulance is still in the custody of Service Ghana Auto Group Limited and therefore not being used by the paramedics of the National Ambulance Service. It is thus not part of the National Ambulance Service fleets. And it's signed by Simmons Yusuf, Kewura Head Public Relations, National Ambulance Service. See, the ambulance cutting the cement was so upsetting, but the statement, more upsetting for me. Where is the anger in that statement? Like, you know, your ambulance is being used for that purpose. You tell us, first of all, that it belongs to you. But you...
Ostensibly.
Yeah. But then, because it developed a minor fault, you sent it to be fixed.
To fix it before it comes back. Then you conclude by saying that, okay, look, it's not part of our fleet.
Seriously?
I mean, it's very unfortunate, and I don't know what steps they are taking by way of this Nana Yaofusu gearbox.
Yeah, but the statement tell you that they will even take any action. Because they are simply, in one breath, it is our ambulance. In another breath, it is not ours. So for the fact that we haven't accepted it and they have to deal with a certain fault. So whatever they decide to do with it, let them do it.
But I really don't. What confused me a bit was on this Nana Yaofusu mechanic. I mean, ambulance. Maybe just
No. Go ahead and say it.
No, like I've always had it in my mind that an ambulance is a specialized vehicle of sorts. That, I mean, I find it a bit strange that it's with some gearbox specialist somewhere, and the person is test driving it, and he
cutting cement
with an ambulance.
Yes.
Like, it sounds so weird to me, and I can't even begin to make sense of.
Sounds
everything.
Normal if you pay attention to the statement. That's their preliminary investigation, but they are not angry. You see, they are not upset. They are explaining to you that it was going for test driving, and the guy decided to use it to cut cement. So it's not in their custody yet. You see, it's branded though. It's got a GV, like it's a state ambulance. But the National Ambulance Service is not angry. So, you know, it would only remain a viral video. So, shall we go on with the newspapers, maybe?
Yes, we can do that now.
We can't do this to ourselves.
It's very unfortunate.
We cannot. We cannot.
And I mean, while we raise issues with how the ambulance service intends to go about it, it's important to outrightly condemn this Nana Yaofusu gearbox specialist or whoever he is. I mean, you don't do that. I mean, we're all in this country when we're told that the total fleet is just about 35 vehicles, and the government promised to get one ambulance per constituency. The ambulances came in eventually. We are told that they've been deployed. In fact, we've done stories about areas where some are abandoned because there's no driver, among others, and all those issues. Then, as a citizen, why do you pack cement into an ambulance? I mean,
because he can get away with it.
Yes, and that's where the problem lies.
Because he can get away with it.
But we should also be responsible citizens. We shouldn't do some of these things.
There's another one that I found very irresponsible. It's a video of Shatawale storming, and we're going to show you the video as well. Very upsetting issues happening just within the week. I mean, this is only Wednesday. So this is Shatawale, who explains that he was on his way home. He saw a contractor doing his job. It's not like Shatawale gave him a contract. He decided that he was pretty pissed because apparently the road was not stretching to either his office or home or something like that. So he decided to gather his boys and shake the contractor small. Hey, Ghana! And then, you know, he says in the video that the man was behaving like he, Shatawale, is a nobody. So I said, yeah. In the scheme of things, like, who do you think you are when an agency has given a contract to a contractor to fix roads? Like, you think you are the who?
In fact, there is a
famous musician, so you can order people about?
A second version of the story that I heard, which is even more ridiculous. The claim is that he says the road has already been tarred not too long ago, and they are tarring the road again, so he doesn't understand why. But either way, it's both narratives.
So he's really, the expert.
I mean, no. But he's done another video apologizing,
no,
and from the information I'm actually picking, it was because some steps were being taken to have him arrested for what had happened at that particular...
The steps must be taken. You see,
exactly.
If we're banning excavators, and I'm all for it, I know you are against it. If we're banning excavators and we find people do this and we don't discipline them and punish them, then it contradicts everything that we're doing. You get what I mean? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, we should deal with him so that nobody thinks that if an agency has given a contract, assembly, whatever, like, you think you are the Shatawale, so you can stop, organize your boys and direct the contractor. Like, seriously. You get what I mean? I mean, It's so upsetting. Really upsetting. And then because of a threat of a suit, he decides to do a video. I mean, like, the impudence. You know, when you do this, he does not only think he is a big somebody, but he empowers those guys that he also gathered to the place. And when they see this contractor or whoever, they think, oh, I've got the blessings of Shatawale, so I can go and misbehave. This is so not right. If National Security, Ghana Police can decide to take an action even without anybody reporting, this is a viral video. We've seen him misbehaving. There's allegations of assault. We need the police to take a look at it, invite him and investigate and deal with him accordingly. Otherwise, it's just the impunity that is continuing in other levels. If we can't tolerate an excavator in water bodies, pumps linked to river bodies, this must also not be tolerated. Oh, Joseph. Can I answer the question so I can calm down a bit?
You will not be able to answer it in this condition. I mean, okay.
Okay.
You want to try?
If I get it correct, what is at stake?
You have an earpiece. I don't know what they've said to you, but I mean, just tell us what.
Oh, you think?
No, go ahead and tell us what the answer is.
No. What is at stake before I answer?
Anything. You tell us the answer.
What do you mean by anything?
Anything you want. I mean.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's how much I trust the question.
Okay, let's do the newspapers. I'll deal with you a bit later. So go through what you have.
The front page of the Daily Graphic now, it says, uphold your integrity, President charges journalist. And third graphic, Business Sense challenge unveiled. VCs risk 20 years imprisonment over unapproved courses. And campaign launched to boost domestic tourism. I saw some photographs on social media of the buses that will be used. There are 2 buses, 1 double-decker and some other bone shaker. You know what a bone shaker is? You know bone shaker?
I sat in one of those when I visited Singapore. This was just the first day. And
I'm talking about the Ghana bone shaker.
I know.
It's a bone shaker. You know
it was the open-top bus is what it was a tour around the city. So, and you have your served dinner, and then you're looking at the beauty of the city. So I was wondering.
That one is the double-decker one.
Yeah.
The bone shaker one is not that one. That one is the one that the high schools they used to cut the farm produce. You know. So it's just as an open area of a sort, just a little roofing. So they have the open top one.
You have something against that one?
No.
Oh, you're wondering what we use it for?
No, in fact, I've seen photographs of it on social media, well branded, nicely. In fact, I don't understand how it will be operating nonetheless, but we are told that it's to boost domestic.
Yeah, so it's that open bus that I'm talking about. Like
you are in, and it takes you around the town, and you look
exactly.
around. Yeah.
So within some hours, you've gone around the entire country and essentially the city because it's one.
I think it will serve very good purpose in an area like Cape Coast. You know, a lot of tourist sites within reach. Yeah, so it makes the drive very cool. But that is on the front page of the Daily Graphic as well. The back page has this story about sea defense projects on course and Valco Trust Fund to construct 5,000 schools in 5 years. Quickly do the other papers. The Ghanaian publisher says ADB wins 1D1F Financial Service Award. ICUMS rakes in 18.7 billion cedis is on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. Daily Statesman reports journalists not above criticisms. Akufo-Addo says critique of work is not attack on press freedom. And massive progress at Kibi Presby College of Education, stakeholders commended, and state calls witnesses in coup plotters case. They've served notice of actually calling witnesses. They've not called those witnesses yet. Let me quickly end with that of the BNFT. The BNFT reports ADB is 1D1F, Financial Service Provider of the Year. BOG Governor blames slow judicial process as only 7% of funds recovered so far, and 100 million cedis allocated to boost domestic tourism. And we are not opposed to joint development, says Sankofa, to deliver $8.1 billion revenue to the state. And ExxonMobil's exit strategic, likely driven by insufficient volumes, also on the front page of the BNFT newspaper.
Let's do the Ghanaian Times newspaper. On the front page, at Africa Journalist Leaders Conference, President raps media, says criticism is not attack on press freedom. I like the rap, how they put the headline. 100 million Ghana cedis boost for tourism. Ministry, boy 12 murdered at shrine, 3 arrested, others on the run. This is another case of a ritual murder, according to the narration. So he was arrested on 20th of May at a funeral. He was taken to a shrine, but those who abducted him, and then he was slaughtered for money-making rituals, according to the story. Details of that on page 3. And then Ghana Health Service worried over decline in breastfeeding. Also another story here on page 3. Woman stabs father to death, another bizarre one. And it's a 21-year-old unemployed. We're told she stabbed her father, 70-year-old, at Tema Community 2. So he was sleeping. This was more early morning, and she just stabbed him multiple times. He died as a result. But the background story is that she had been behaving abnormally, according to the narration, and she was taken to a church, a prayer camp, even though she had been, the family had been advised to take her to a psychiatric hospital. So police still investigating this matter. On the back page of the paper, Valco Trust Fund to help eliminate schools under trees. One of those sharp contrasts to how Valco itself is performing and what the trust fund intends to do. I mean, can they really do what they say they would do, considering that they themselves, as the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, are not doing well, if you like. But hey, what do we know? Training on control of mosquito larva ends in Accra is also another story on the back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. So let's go through the final on the front page. ADB wins One District, One Factory Financial Service Provider of the Year award. Congratulations to them. Rise in tobacco use among young female adults worrying, according to the FDA. Trial of alleged coup plotters starts June 8th. Critiquing work of journalists, not an attack on media. President Akufo-Addo urges media to accept criticism in good faith. Innovative initiative to promote domestic tourism launched. Joseph talked to us about that a while ago. So let's do the Daily Guide newspaper front page. Indum's $100 million transfers, and that's in quote, pop up in U.S. courts. You can catch up the details there on that court's issue. Senior high school graduate kills dad in Tema. I think it's the same story in the Ghanaian Times newspaper. 19 witnesses for coup plotters case starts June 8th. Let's see if there's something interesting in the center spread, which usually carries the entertainment stories. Oh, Shatawale leads gang to assault road workers. That story is here in the center spread of the paper. Do you have another paper?
The custodian will be the last one for me. It has this story about Akufo-Addo sets records straight, says critiquing journalists not an attack on media freedom, and fraudsters invade courts, file rates for government compensations. And police placed 10K bounty on Karaga DCE's drivers killers. Baumia donates 5 incubators to Kokroko Charity Foundation. The back page has this story about Christian Achu announcing his departure from Newcastle. He's 29 years old. And I've heard people saying that he's nearing the twilight of his career, so he should come to Hearts of Folk. Sergio Aguero has joined Barcelona at 33.
Christian Achu is leaving Newcastle.
Yes.
And he'll be a free agent.
Yes. And people are suggesting he should come back home. And I'm saying that, I mean, they said at the age he's getting to. And I'm saying that Aguero has joined Barcelona at 33. He's young enough. I mean, he's...
Yeah, but what's wrong with coming back home and joining one of our clubs?
If it's Kotoko, I mean, I'm all for it. But if not, you should just continue outside.
Who cares? Let's do the Daily Dispatch. We care about the Daily Dispatch. Here's what's on the front page. I prefer vibrant media to a praise-singing one, according to our president. And it's just different angles from the same speech that people have, taking. And this conversation about who started free SHS is still on, apparently, so you can catch up if you're interested. The Daily Dispatch newspaper. That's how the front page of the paper looks like today. Joe?
Yes. Are you ready with my answer? I'm done going through the papers.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay, so the question again. We put a question again on the screen. And you tell us what the answer is.
What's the number of the parking space containing the car?
Yes.
And it's 16, 6, 68, 87, 87, 98.
Say that again?
87.
So the answer is 87. Okay, let's turn it around and see. Okay. Round again.
Does it show you?
Yep. So it was very easy, actually. So it doesn't require any math. It's just 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. But when you turn it upside down, the 91 becomes 16. The 90 becomes 06. Then you have 68, 88. So it becomes confusing, like it's some complex mathematical problem.
Oh.
But just by turning it upside down.
Can I confess, though? It's not like I thought about it, though.
Okay, how did you find
it? Professor Japon just sent me the answer.
Oh. Prof of UHAS?
Yes.
Oh, I know Prof.
And this
Prof used to, he used to be at Legon. Prof was, he was in charge of ORID, Pro VC in charge of ORID. Prof, this one, I disagree with you. In fact, we have set aside the results. As a result of external assistance, the answer has been set aside. And so you take another test.
I don't mind. This is my truth. I'm just telling you. I didn't even have to struggle. And this was very early when you posted and you were yobbing. Oh, you don't know, you don't. I knew it because you had sent it to me. It was right there.
Okay, good morning to you, Prof.
Let's do myjoyonline.com now. What's trending on our page? But is there a story of interest?
Just the bits about this whole conversation about media freedom. This is the second time in less than 5 days that the president has been speaking about this particular issue. I mean, I guess it explains the importance that he attaches to it and the concerns that he has about what people think the situation of the media is really. And I think beyond these conversations, we need to also... There's a point that Cabral Blame here chaired this particular event. He made a point about the need to address some of the concerns that come up that are issues of concerns to people. And so it's good that we set the record straight, like some people have tagged it. But when people raise some of the concerns, like what has happened to the killers of Ahmed Swali, why have they beaten this journalist somewhere? Why have they done this? We want to see the matter investigated and dealt with, because people's reality is what it is to them. It's either you address it for them or they decide how they intend to address it and may punish you for it when they have the means of doing that by voting as well. And so that is the issues that I think that we should also...
I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Because, then it's as if, okay, this is what you journalists, you've said, and this is our response. And we are trying to tear apart what you have said instead of
listening and addressing.
Exactly.
And a friend of mine made quite a sarcastic comment. I mean, people have been saying that if there is no threat if there's a culture of silence, why are people talking? Like, why am I talking right now? You know the question that the guy says. He says, when Professor Dubois made that speech that is believed to have broken the culture of silence, he didn't use sign language. He spoke. So, I mean, talking does not mean that people do not have concerns.
Brilliant.
You just have to address those concerns.
Yeah. Let's quickly look at myjoyonline.com and let's give you an update. The Achimota school issue is here. The fact that The school board in the statement says that they're going to appeal the order to admit the 2 Rastafarian students.
The update on that story, the education minister says he's meeting the headmistress of Achimota and the board chairman. He says he doesn't think it's their place. The GES constitutes the board. They can't on their own decide that they are going to appeal a decision. It's not a decision that they can take unilaterally without consulting the various agencies. And so they are going to meet them today to decide what happens next.
There you have it. And then you remember the Central Region Police, the Gomwa Police to be specific, they were looking for this prophetess who had convinced, some parents that their child was a spirit child that needed to be killed. In fact, the allegation is that she assisted them in killing this child. Opinion leaders of Gomwa Ejumako, they've handed her over to the police. She's 64 years old, so she's going to go through the process. We thank God for that. Obey court ruling on Rastafarian student NATS urges members at Achimota School. Laboratory scientists, thank God, they've called off their strike after discussion with Parliament's Health Committee. We've got a member of the committee. We want to understand what they told them, because you see, we don't want them to wake up tomorrow and start again and say that the committee didn't do what they had said they would do. And then there are plenty other stories on myjoyonline.com. We'll urge you to go and explore. There's a birthday dedication. It's to one of our own. Isaac Nonya is our Savannah region correspondent. He's a fantastic guy, and it is his birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Isaac Nonya. Can you let the pictures flow so our viewers can see him and appreciate him as well? Isaac Nonya is our Savannah region correspondent. It is his birthday today. From all of us here at JoyNews and indeed the multimedia group, we're wishing you a happy birthday today, Isaac Nonya. Who is keeping his pictures? We'll bring that to you in a bit. But happy birthday to you, Frank Abuaje. Oh, that's Isaac Nonya right there. We are thanking God for his divine cover, endless grace, and all the beautiful people around you. It is our prayer that same grace be extended to all orphans, and that's your prayer as well, widows and widowers in Ghana. That's how you want to celebrate your birthday. So we celebrate with you, Isaac Nonya. Frank Abuaji of Nsawam, and an advanced one to your son, Jerome Abuaji. It's also your birthday, Isaac Amankwa, from your wife, Mami Joe, and your siblings. If it's your birthday today, of course we can't mention all, but happy birthday to you. You wanted to say something?
Oh no, you should send a special message to Professor
John Owusu Japan.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's your savior.
He's the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming through. He's got my back. It feels good
Professor,
knowing that.
Professor, this question here is very easy for a professor.
Next time, I won't say who told me. But also to remind you, today's the day that the Parliament's Appointment Committee will be vetting the President's deputy ministerial nominees. One of our friends, one of our helpers, and a very good friend of mine will be vetted today, and I wish him the very best. He's the Member of Parliament for Ikuapem South. He is the nominee, deputy nominee, minister nominee for local governments, and I wish him the very best. He will do fantastic, I know. So Obi Amwa, the very best of luck today as you face the Appointments Committee. Coincidentally, he's also a member of the committee. All right, introduce sports.
Muftal has sports. I'm sure some good news from Kotoko.
No, his mother is watching, so you have to say Muftal Abdullahi Nabila is bringing sports.
Yes, sir.
What does it mean for a local coach to go for an expatriate as his first assistant? To other local coaches in the country, J.E. Sapon appears to be very disappointed with C.K. Akono's decision to hire an expatriate as his first assistant when there are so many local coaches. Some of the most incredible players to have had great Olympics have an incredible season in the Ghana Premier League is the Kwe brothers. They've been speaking about how they are pushing each other to ensure that great Olympics maintain retain their status as a Ghana Premier League club. In the gone-by weekend, Manchester City lost their first ever UEFA Champions League final. However, the chairman of Manchester City, in the person of Al Kaoun, insists that the club has done incredibly well under the management of Pep Guardiola. These and many more within the next 10 to 15 minutes with me, Muftau Nabila Ablai, on the AM show. Let's start with CK Akuno's decision to hire an expatriate in the person of Patrick Grivas as his first assistant, following up with the executive committee's decision to approve that request that was made by CK Akuno. And J.E. Sapon says that it is tapped at the back of local coaches.
Typically, what? All the national teams now have two assistant coaches, right? One assistant coach, right? Beefed up with the technical squad. Understand? Well, so he's requesting for another coach. Well, and then who pays that assistant coach? Who bears the brunt? You know, because the head of state has said that he doesn't want any expatriate in the national team. You know, he wants the blacks to deal with this situation. Which is why when the FA resorted to get a white coach, he said no, we don't have money to pay. So where do we stand now? And I'm telling you on record that the FA didn't push CK to make a selection. CK himself went out of the way to get his assistant. So nobody should blame the FA, nobody should blame the executive committee.
I see. So as we go forward, isn't there anything that you feel that the Black Stars team in general can get on the lines of positive things from this coach? Because he's got some very good experience.
You mean the positive the Black Stars will derive from this?
Yes.
Yeah. The man is yet to start work. And you, the journalists, sports journalists, will go there and assess him. Let us see what comes out of it from the friendly matches that we play Morocco and the Ivory Coast. And then let us watch his impact. That will be born on the team. So for now, we have to cross our fingers.
And according to J. Sapon, the decision was made by CK Akuno. However, reports on the table of Joy Sports indicated that he presented 3 local coaches: Prosper Natal Ogum of West Africa Football Academy, Seth Ablade, a video analyst currently in Norway, and Laie Kingston. And these choices were rejected by the Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association. But CK Akuno insisted he needed to appoint his personal backroom staff, and that was when these foreign coaches were presented to him, and he arrived at the decision of settling on Patrick Grivas as his first assistant. The decision was made by CK Akuno. However, the first 3 choices he made were local coaches. Now let's do Ghana Premier League news, where the Quay brothers have had an sensational season with Great Olympics. They've been speaking about how they push each other to ensure that at the end of the season, they'll be able to finish among the top 4 clubs in the Ghana Premier League. Maxwell Abekwe has been one of the star men of Great Olympics, scoring 7 goals in 25 matches in the ongoing Ghana Premier League. The youngster, who is making his debut in Ghana's domestic top flight competition, has revealed that the desire of Olympics is to finish among the top 4 clubs in the competition.
And before the league started, you could see our training. Everybody is really pushing hard because the motive is to be among the top 4. But since I came, I never see Olympics in the top 4 at the end of any season, apart from the week qualifying to the Premier League. So I spoke to the new players, Awako and I, we spoke to them that this very season should be kind of a surprising season to the whole Ghana and the whole world as well. So I think I'm happy, I'm very happy. Everybody is trying to hit up to the dream or the goal we want to.
Maxwell plays alongside his younger brother, Ashikwe, who has also been phenomenal for the Wonder Club. Ashikwe tells Joy Sports he has encouraged his elder brother to score more goals to ensure Great Olympics achieve the target they've set for the football season.
I keep telling him that at the end of the second round,
he should score around. He should score like. He should lead the goal king, yeah, on top of the league. So he can. I know he can do it. So.
Do you have something to tell your brother?
Yeah, well, all I will say is that I thank him so much for his commitment, because he finding himself in the top flight, one of the top flight team in Ghana, especially the most pressure team in Ghana. I thank him so much for how he has been able to consume the pressure, and yet you won't be able to even see if he's a new player or something. I thank him.
Olympics is one of the clubs gunning to win the Premier League this season, as they've remained within the top 5 clubs since the season began in November last year.
As Ghana's economy re-emerges from the scourge of COVID-19, businesses are repositioning and re-strategizing their supply methods to meet the demands of a more health-conscious clientele. Today, we feature one such business avenue called Native Bar, where a hybrid of services are aimed at fostering healthy business links among entrepreneurs. Charles Aite has the rest of this.
Business is open at Native Bar, a Pan-African restaurant in the heart of Accra.
Finally, we got to meet.
Idubia Yusi is co-founder of this restaurant. For her, the coronavirus pandemic has been a cash cow.
Okay, before COVID, sales were okay. After COVID, you know, there were so many hiccups with the COVID, and so we had to, bring about some very innovative packages because now the focus was really on deliveries. So we looked at some of the gaps. The president said something about nutrition, and it falls into our brand. So what we did was that we packaged a lot of exciting things. People didn't want to go to the market. Native Bar would do family cuisine so that we deliver to you. We had discounts for corporates. We had such exciting packages, leveraging on the nutritious meals that people have to eat so that they boost their immune system. So what happened was, for us, post-COVID, like before COVID, we had about 20% delivery services. After COVID, we had about 80%.
Whoa, that's
so there was a positive for us with the COVID, because we actually looked at all the needs that it brought about, and we leveraged on it and put together packages. So yeah, you look at a disadvantage and turn it into an advantage.
Perfect. Data from the Statistical Service show that during the lockdown, about 244,000 firms adjusting their business models by relying more on digital solutions such as mobile money and internet for sales.
Let me show you around Native Bar. It's not just a restaurant. When you come here, there's so much activity. Like if you want to read, we have this.
So you have a miniature library.
Oh yeah, so you can pick up any book, read it. So long as when you're going, you leave it.
But what informed this decision?
Yeah, because we wanted to create something that a serene environment, people can come and relax here, away from all the stress, So you pick up a book, any type.
Family,
you have stories, you have entrepreneurship, and all that. Then we have games. If you're a family, you come here, you have the Ludo, the Owari, and all these things. So you can just hang out here the whole day.
Away from home.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But I know one thing that caught my attention has been the arts.
It's the arts. This was so deliberate because we wanted at the same time to also showcase Ghanaian artwork. And
these were made by Ghanaians?
These are made by Ghanaians. Excellent artwork. And we wanted to use our walls to showcase Ghanaian artwork. So every now and then you come to Native Bar, there's a new artist we are featuring, so this artist...
so you do change the...
Oh yeah, we do. It's deliberate, and it's for sale, Yeah, so sometimes, when you're eating your very healthy meals, it's going down, digesting very well because the ambiance is very lovely, catches your attention, you want to buy. We have, Caucasians come in here, tourists, and they want to buy it. They bought, quite a number. Okay.
But what are your interpretations of these?
Actually, I have an artist background. I did O-level arts.
Oh,
you know, so I have an artist background. And one of the things that really struck me about his artwork is that he's depicting African women in a very beautiful way.
I see that.
Most of the time, what sometimes I don't really like is the fact that, you know, you have all these carvings and the women don't look too beautiful. But this is so beautiful. I mean, it's like different ways in which African women, you know, are beautiful African women, and that's.
So that's a woman with
this is a woman with an afro hair.
Yes, typical of the African woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also see the elephant.
Yeah.
You know, this is also somewhat political in its stand.
Don't go there.
But also artistic in its nature.
Yeah. You can see the might. I think I interpret this in so many ways, as in, you know, the might of an elephant, and the aspects of every aspect of the body parts of an elephant is useful.
Speaking of art, we have this gentleman.
Yeah, so this beautiful artwork that we were talking about, this is the person who did it. This is the artist. His name is Eric Otu.
Eric, great job.
Yeah, Eric.
Let's sit with him and see what he has to say.
All right.
So you just sit next to him.
All right.
He's the one who's made your place so beautiful and so colorful. Eric, nice to be on the show. And so you do all these things yourself?
Yeah, I do all these things.
For how long have you been into the arts industry?
Actually, I started from 2012 when I started. It was a bit rough. So I was doing, but then I was doing shoemaking and barbering. To get the colors, because the colors is not, it's a bit expensive. So when I realized that no, then I have to give myself to the art, because I wasn't able to focus on it, and it was not coming out, the beauty was not coming out. So I dropped the shoemaking and barbering, and I focus on it full time. So now I'm a full-time painter.
So you had no educational training in this? This is pure talent.
Yeah, I have it. Actually, I'm a talented. It's a raw gift, but I passed through a system. I attended the Granada College of Art and Design.
So you're not just serving people meals, but you're also connecting creative minds like that of Eric to the potential of business.
And actually, when we started, we wanted to have different groups of entrepreneurs meet here. This should be the hub where you meet and you know, talk about your innovative ideas and all that, you know. So the artist thing is just an angle of it, but most people come here and have their meetings, and throughout the whole day they eat, then they have their meetings.
So how do you share the sales?
Okay, so the thing is, because we want to promote them, you know, elsewhere when they do an exhibition, they really charge them, but on our walls, we just take a small percentage. I'll tell you after the show.
It isn't all about the profits.
Our pack is eco-friendly.
Edubia also demonstrated the eco-friendly materials, Ghana made by the way, she has employed for packaging.
Sick, but this is eco-friendly. So we can even put soups in here, nothing happens. So it's specially made like that. So that's our uniqueness.
So these things are made in Ghana?
Yeah, now we used to buy them in Dubai, but now there are suppliers, you know, who make them. So then, you know, a sandwich pack, and then if we serve you with smoothies or anything, we put it in this. So we have a green philosophy, and then we have solar panels here. So yeah, so it's hybrid ECG and this thing. So we are really environmentally friendly and want to push that.
I come here not just because of the food that I have to eat, but if I am in town and I'm looking to meet up with any guests, this is my go-to place. Networking is made easy here because it's right in the center of town. It's easily accessible to quite a number of places, and so it's quite easy to find as well. And the ambience in terms of getting to know people, getting to meet people, this is a hub that actually promotes entrepreneurial networking. This is also the hub for you to find, I would say, the right customer for your product or your service. Someone eating here could be the CEO of another entrepreneurial business. Someone here could also be the friend to a friend whom you've been trying to network with. So this really is the opportunity for all entrepreneurs to actually come and have a hub. Like I said, I'm actually meeting a guest here.
Over 131,000 businesses, mostly SMEs, expressed uncertainty in the business environment. In fact, the average decrease in sales, according to the World Bank findings, was estimated at 115.2 million Ghana cedis, with firms in the hospitality sector largely affected. To bounce back, it would be a cause for entrepreneurs to explore niche markets and products.
So I'm very passionate about businesses that are run well, because most of the time the perception about Africans is that you start something, it's nice.
Exactly.
After some time, the thing becomes so mediocre. We have to be consistent, okay? So that is some of the things that, for me, I would advise a lot of entrepreneurs, that you start something. You have to do it with everything. You have to ensure that it's up to perfection, because you are meeting a need for a client or a customer. So it's not a wishy-washy thing. You have to put your all in it and bring out the best, so that's my advice.
And how come most of the module business plans, end-to-end business plans that appeal to the current moment? Because we've spoken to you, we've seen the massive things you're doing. It is a restaurant, yes, but the interconnectivity, the business interlinks within this space speaks much about the need for innovative business ideas amid a pandemic. So what kind of advice do you have for SMEs coming up who've experienced their first share of COVID-19 and would want to restructure to fit into the demands of the times?
Okay, I would say that, this generation, I believe that businesses, there should be some sort of renaissance in businesses. And businesses should not be, somebody is doing this, I'm doing the same thing, So you just find a problem that there's so many problems around that you want to meet a need. Because one thing about businesses is that if your passion, if your heart is not in it, when the challenges come, you just run away. So you have to find a problem that you can solve, and then find different ways of. The reason why you go and look at your competitors is to find where are the gaps. What can I do differently, okay, to meet a certain need? And you put your all in it and raise the bar all the time, and excellence sells itself.
To lessen the impact of COVID-19, co-founder of Native Bar wants SMEs to be buoyant, innovative, and have a hold of current market demands. This, she says, is how to stay in business amid a global health crisis. A total of 100 million Ghana cedis has been attributed to the survival and recovery of several businesses in Ghana under the Ghana Cares program. But for enterprises like that of Native Bar, being innovative and much more abreast with the demands of the time is all that SMEs need in this era of COVID-19. I'm Charles Aite for Joy Business.
Well, hello there. Thank you for joining us. This is AM Talk here on the AM Show. Today, we discuss a matter that simply will not go away, and it's national security. Well, reports of assault and thievery by national security operatives have come up. We're told that there was a raid on 2 casinos in Asankragua on May 7, 2021. There are allegations that with guns and masked faces, the operatives raided a fuel station and a casino operated by some Chinese. They were also attacked. Allegedly, CCTV cameras were destroyed, lights went off, several quantities of gold were taken. This has led to a certain member of parliament petitioning the IGP to investigate the matter. Well, every now and then, because of national security, issues of 31st of January 2019 came up. That has to do with the Ayawaso West Wagon issues that led to the Commission of Inquiry, the Emil Short Commission of Inquiry being set up. They made a number of recommendations. And we know that not all the recommendations were adopted. So a few of the things that I want to go through with you this morning as we discuss this matter with our guests. We're going to go through the Commission's recommendations and what was eventually adopted by government. So first, and recommended amongst many other things, and this is just the operational aspect of national security. That's where the highlight is. That police and national security should develop protocols for the assessment and rating of intelligence received and subsequent deployment of missions, if any. This recommendation was adopted. There was also the issue of no masked or hooded men should be used for civilian policing. This recommendation was outrightly rejected. There were some examples that were given. Not all operations can be carried out with unmasked faces, apparently. Well, there was also this recommendation, the standard rules and procedures for the issuance of weapons and ammunition to police officers and operatives of national security who are sent on missions, and accompanying rules of accountability for these weapons and ammunition should be enforced. This recommendation was accepted in parts by the government. Operatives of the national security should be trained to internalize human rights rules, including the provisions on the fundamental human rights of the Constitution within their standard operating procedures. According to the white paper, this recommendation was adopted. Again, there must be strict adherence to the rules on searches and seizures, especially as regards to respect for the privacy of the citizen. A ministerial directive was recommended, must be issued, reminding all state operatives of the need to respect the citizens' privacy except as authorized by judicial orders. This was also happily, according to the white paper, adopted. Now, there was also another recommendation on the operation still of national security, that the SWAT team should be disbanded and operatives be reassigned as appropriate. This recommendation was rejected. Now, it was also recommended for support for special operations should be sought from the specialized units of the police directly as and when necessary. Again, this was rejected. So, this is what we're talking about today in terms of the recommendations, particularly with regards to the operational duties of national security and what government adopted and did not adopt. You know, every now and then when matters of national security comes up, people say that the Commission did such a fantastic work and made lots of recommendations, but sadly, not all were adopted. And that's why we come back to this issue of national security every now and then. So we're tracking where we are with this very latest with regards to national security. We'll discuss other matters, which includes, well, topical issue, Achimota School and the ruling and their reaction thereafter. My guest in the studio, they're happily seated. Mr. Roxy Nelson Dafamapo is Member of Parliament for South Dai. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
And also, he's a member of the Standing Committee, you're a member of the Public Accounts Committee and the Constitutional Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament. Also joining us is Collins Adumaku, Mensa Member of Parliament for Efija Kwabre North. He's a member of the Finance Committee, and he will tell us what happened as the Health Committee met with the striking laboratory workers who now say, after what you told them, they've called up their strike. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Morning, Mama V.
Yes.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for being here. Yes. I want us to start.
And good morning to my constituents in South Dai. Peki Kwali Kwevetong. You love that.
I guess to your constituents in Kwabre.
Fija Kwabre.
Yes. All right, great. I want us to start from national security, and that's why I did that analysis to put that conversation in proper perspective. There's always a link back to Ayawaso West Wagon. Now it has happened to one of you. Because it's a member of parliament that's petitioned the IGP. Where are we with that matter, Mr. Nafamakol?
Thank you. I think that national security has become a monster, a hydra-headed monster. You recall that when the commission's reports were released and the contents serialized by some of the media houses like you, government had to react by issuing a white paper. Now, in issuing the white paper, government rejected about 90% of the facts as established by the commission. And as a consequence of the recommendations they made to government. So the report as it is cannot in the eyes of government be relied upon. That's what government is saying.
You said it went outside their scope in many instances.
Yes. So as soon as they said that, then they rejected the host of the findings of fact. Not mere recommendations, but findings of fact. For a government not rejecting the recommendations, but findings of fact. So it injected in the arm some members of the national security operatives to continue to do what we see around. Now, fast forward, on the 9th of 6th January, to the dawn of 7th January 2021, when we were to be inaugurated to take office. Plainclothes men and military, people only speak of the soldiers because they were uniformed. There were others, plainclothes men with guns. They stormed Parliament. As we speak, we are struggling to get an inquiry to be conducted into who commanded that group of people to storm Parliament.
Is this a matter the Parliament itself is interested in?
We are.
This is June.
Yes, we are.
This happened in January.
We are.
You're not so upset. Is it when you're talking to us?
No, we are. And we are very angry. Because if we are unable to inquire into that matter, then there is very little we can inquire into when other petitions come. Again, there have been national security operatives activities that were largely regarded as having breached fundamental rights of people subsequently or after the January event in Parliament. And so it appears the Takwa incident, is it Takwa?
This is Asankregwa.
Asankregwa. It appears that Asankregwa incident is the last straw. So people are now, it should be. So people are now, that is why, for instance, an entity like you will want to go back to the Ayawaso Commission report and ask questions. Because because you see, once you make a finding of fact, like a court of competent jurisdiction, it is based on the facts as established by the court that judgments are entered. That is why the plaintiff will have its set of facts. The defendants will also have their set of facts. So in a typical judicial ruling, you will see that the plaintiff's case, the defendant's case, this is just narrating the story in the case as the parties will say it. Then you see findings by the court. So it is what the finders of fact will establish. Then recommendations will be made. So if a government says, I reject most of your findings of fact, they are seeking to torpedo the basis of the report. So no wonder recommendations that, for instance, certain personnel be reassigned were ignored. Because issues have happened. Journalists have been manhandled recently. National Security claims to have conducted an internal inquiry into the matter and issued a statement. We were told by that statement that persons like Azogu will be reassigned, will have to be asked to go back to the main Ghana Police Service. Now, Asankregwa has happened.
Asankregwa apparently happened before the City FM
before
issue.
City FM.
So there are suggestions that this reassignment had nothing to do with that.
Okay. So then I will sequence the issues well. So we see a certain person almost always featuring in some of these matters. But pursuant to the law and the Constitution, national security is a conglomeration of other state security institutions. It's actually a secretariat. So it's not supposed to have a standing army as it is largely described. It's not supposed to have a standing force. It's supposed to rely on other security agencies that are mandated to operate standing forces. And recently, Ghana Immigration Service has been added to that category of institutions, security agencies that can bear arms. So in a national security operation, and that has to do with border matters or immigration matters, they can rely on immigration or the police and immigration. So
isn't that what the commission was recommending? But it was rejected.
Yes, but that's the point we are making. And the commission's recommendation were pursuant to the established laws as they have reviewed them. But we continue to keep a standing army. And the dangerous thing is that they are using a lot of civilians who now have been trained to handle arms. Yes.
How do you know How do you prove that?
Why? Have you read a statement from the national security about the Asankregwa matter?
Mm-hmm. So that's okay. So that's what
you understand. Yes, this is so much civilians, but they can bear arms. So it's a problem. It's a problem. The national security has become a monster, hounding everybody.
Let's see if your colleague on the other side would agree with you.
Well, I suppose if he was tased on the 9th of 6th January like I was, yes, I was shocked.
Were you misbehaving?
No. I mean, when the soldiers stormed the chamber, we resisted. You saw us. We resisted their entrance. We resisted them at the entrance, and then when they were pushing their way, we continued to resist the entry. And so, in the course of the melee, and I was in the forefront, I think you saw me in my braces. And as soon as I raised my arm like this, oh, gosh.
You could have sued them.
Well, who do you sue when you can't identify the person? That is why we're asking for an inquiry. No, I could have died. Because their shocker is like a torchlight. Huge, long. And I thought it was a torchlight. But apparently it was.
Did you pass out?
No, okay. But almost instantly I was weakened. So I had to be led to my seat to rest for like 2 hours before I came back to duty.
Okay, sir. Let's get your take on this.
Good morning once again, and my senior colleague in Parliament. Of course, what happened on the 6th, midnight to 7th, was unfortunate, and we've all condemned it.
Don't worry, it's played out on the Pan-African Parliament.
Yes.
It continues.
We've all condemned it, and I'm sure a motion has been filed in Parliament, if I recall, for a bipartisan investigation into this matter. So Parliament is doing something about it. As to his description as the National Security Ministry being now a monster, I'm not too sure if I will use that particular description as being a monster. Of course, there have been some actions by some operatives of the National Security that I've been here. I was here some time ago when the Caleb issue came, and I was very frank and said, no, the way and manner they zoomed into the premises of the station was wrong. And I'm sure it is on the basis of that actions were taken. As you know, some of the key figures have been asked to go back to their respective institutions. And I am aware that some reforms are going on at the ministry. I'm sure in the not too long time, that standing force is likely to be disbanded from what I'm hearing. But I'm sure the discussion is coming on the heat of a report that the National Security has conducted a swoop at Asankragua on 2 stations. The earlier report we heard was that some civilians who have been given some guns and operating as national security operatives and have stormed some site at Asankragua. My checks and my brief is that indeed these civilians, as you put them, are trained national security operatives, and they are trained to hold arms and to use arms.
So they are national security operatives?
They are national. In fact, this particular exercise was sanctioned. It's a sanctioned operation. And they went there after a month or 2 investigation into the activities of these Chinese people. And if you just pardon me, let me just read some few things that were retrieved when they got there. They retrieved a Land Cruiser. An amount of 1.3 million Ghana cedis was retrieved. Half boxes of mercury, 6 pump action guns, 7 excavator control boards. And as you know, what they do is that when they realize that the security people are coming to the Galamsey site, they pick the control boards from the excavator so the machines cannot be moved. So clearly, these were people engaged in illegality.
Okay, so this had everything to do with Galamsey?
Galamsey and then money laundering.
But here's the problem.
So
there is Operation Halt.
I think they said they retrieved gold refinery equipment.
This was a report from, I read Manasseh's outcome. Okay. And so for that gold report, I've not received that.
Looking at the fact that there's an ongoing operation.
No, it's part of the operations.
But Operation Halt doesn't have national security.
These guys had moved from the Galamsey site.
So this was a different operation.
This was a different operation.
Galamsey.
Yes. And that's what they do. And and that's what I'm saying, that we have to put the whole thing in context. If this particular debate is coming on the heels of this swoop was sanctioned, and the people who have been arrested, in fact, the kingpin is on the run. The wife has been arrested, the Chinese, the wife has been arrested.
But let's talk about procedure. We appreciate what they've taken, what they've confiscated, if you like, and what they are alleged to have been doing.
Yes.
But procedure.
Yes. Well, if you, after the swoop, you get 6 pump action guns, how were you expecting the national security operative to approach that particular enclave?
I saw a picture, when Manasseh put the story out, a picture of I don't know if it's an officer or if it's a civilian with a gun.
Yes.
With the mask.
Yes.
And the way he was standing, because he wasn't in uniform.
Yes,
he looked like an armed robber. That's what people said.
Oh, well, that is people's interpretation of it. But these are national security operatives.
If you saw a person like that,
well, I'm saying that in this particular...
Suddenly come into your house.
You said suddenly, but this one is a particular exercise. After they had done some preliminary investigations. So they knew where they were going. And they had been informed of the kind of reaction or resistance that they might incur. So they had to prepare themselves. And I'm saying that even after this swoop, 6 pump gun guns were confiscated.
Hang on, I'm also confused. We have a SWAT team.
Yes.
And SWAT is, you can identify them, they wear their... What's the difference between that team and why couldn't they...
Well, that would be...
And then you needed civilians with trained civilians with guns and masks.
You see, the earlier post by Manasseh, our brother, created the impression that some civilians, parading as national security operatives, wielding guns, have stormed a casino. And I'm saying that these people you saw in the video, these are trained national security operatives who are trained to use guns and to operate with guns. So it is not like some people just got up without any prior authorization, just moved into a casino just to cause mayhem. No, these were people sanctioned operation, and they went there to conduct a specific operation, and they did so.
So you're okay with how they are alleged to have carried themselves, their operation, because it's something they monitored for a period.
A period, yes. So yes.
You wanted to say something?
Yes. First of all, to suggest that national security, pursuant to the inquiry they conducted recently into the Kalekuda arrest issue, persons have been asked to go back. No, reassigning.
Oh, taken back to their mother
agencies. Look, you ask an army colonel to go back, and he's been given
he's the commanding officer.
A more lofty position within the army. What does that suggest?
They say he was already in that...
no, but he wasn't a commander.
Infantry battalion.
No, 2. The same national security operatives recently beat up DCOP retired in Kumasi. And government came to sanction that activity. DCOP says those boys were Delta forces. Government came to rationalize and said they were national security operatives. So when we continue to justify the use of civilians bearing arms, hooded, anybody who is hooded means wearing, like looking like a ninja.
There was justification for it. You know, the government white paper explained why they could not make away with that.
Honorable, the word civilians should be used advisedly. I mean, they are not policemen and they are not soldiers. So obviously they will not be in police or soldier uniform.
But
these are plain national security operatives who have been trained.
Yes, but you have trained them to bear arms.
Yes,
and wear mask.
We cannot identify them if they conduct themselves in breach of the law. There is procedure. You spoke about procedure. Procedure is about everything in accordance with law.
Well, but to be fair, I mean, if they have a commander, if they have an officer leading the team.
No, Mama V, let me make the point.
There are allegations of misbehavior.
Let me make the point. You see, the security services are hierarchically structured. To the extent that we have regional commanders and district commanders and divisional commanders. The police SWAT, they have SWAT in the western region. We have district police commanders. Look, it doesn't even make security sense to move a team of 2 Land Cruisers to travel from Accra 9 hours to go and conduct such an operation.
That has already been rejected. We went through the commission's report. Yes. They said no, because they said use the SWAT team that already exists within the police.
Hold on.
Government said no, that's not what we want to do.
Hold on, but Mama V, I'm saying that if you think that such an operation is a clandestine one, and so you must use the national security for such clandestine operations, it doesn't make security sense to move such a team clandestinely 9 hours to Asankregua from Accra. If there were a tip of the people would have absconded. So you could have, there are BNI officers in every district in this country. So in one region you could have about 10, depending on the number of districts, you could have 10 BNI operatives.
There are military men as well.
Exactly. And the Western region has a command, the whole military command in the Western region, because of the national security installation and assets. So for me, I am still thinking, and there are regional security coordinators now under this government. So I am still thinking, how reasonable was the fact that they must move a team and drive in a convoy manner all the way to Asankregua to go and stage this? So if I describe national security as having become a hydra-headed monster, I am right.
So can
they are using Gestapo tactics to conduct Gestapo tactics, Gestapo style, to conduct their operation. That is what is offending the sensibilities of every Ghanaian. Nobody says don't operate, don't protect us, don't deal with criminals, supposedly, but to do so in a manner that is established in our laws, and it will be fine. People will praise you,
because people are looking at the manner in which they did this and not even talking about the items that were confiscated.
That's
simply because of the nature in which. But I wanted to ask you, this petition, this is your colleague MP, even though he's on the other side. I mean, if he was Member of Parliament petitioning the IGP. With the explanation that you've given, I get the sense that nothing will come out of it.
I'm not too sure he has the right to petition. The national security.
I'm looking at the defense that the government is putting up.
Well, the 6 suspects are still in custody. Investigations are still ongoing. Probably his petition will boost the investigation.
But there are allegations of thievery. That they stormed other people's
who is giving that allegation? Who is giving that allegation?
The fuel station. There are people who said they were in their cars. There was a journalist who said...
Who is giving that allegation?
You see, now your report is quoting that they retrieved 1 point.
Yes, and I have pictures. I have pictures of it.
I don't doubt this.
I have pictures of it.
But the company staff are also saying... Hold on.
Please, no.
The company staff is also saying that...
I mean, whose side are we?
Hold on.
Chinese?
My brother. No. The account from one of the staff members says that there were foreign currencies involved. That has not been disclosed. So you see
everything as far as I'm concerned.
Maybe they converted it. Because
you never know.
Atinima got that.
So maybe it was all converted.
I said go here.
But the point I'm making is that
yes,
my senior brother has made some comments. If they are doing things that is going outside of the law, yes, we cannot have a discussion about it. But I'm saying that in this particular suit, it was sanctioned and they went there on the basis of proud information. The casino has been in existence for 5 years. For 5 years.
No.
So my point is, on whose side are we?
No. We are on the side. We are on the side of keeping us safe.
So I have a question. You know, the fact that they achieved this purpose, confiscating, taking money, and then there are 6 people in custody. How about the other allegations on the side, that they stormed people's private facilities and took away things from them? Because it looks like we're saying, oh, because this was a sanctioned operation.
No, I'm told
then forget about
the casino is just behind the filling station. The casino is behind the filling station.
So they had to go through...
Yes, the casino is behind the filling station. But I'm saying that...
The filling station also part of...
I'm saying that the allegation of
thievery... They actually struck at 2 places.
The allegation of thievery can be investigated. I'm happy, per the report, that per my brief, I mean, the 6 people who are in custody. Investigations are still ongoing.
But have you arraigned them? Have they been arraigned before court?
That I don't have that information.
You see,
I don't have
because I am surprised you are telling me that this happened before Caleb.
No, as we speak now.
So it's been some time.
No,
so
as we speak now.
Let's see the arraignment. You know, investigations can always continue even though matters are...
But as we speak now, I'm still told that the kingpin is still on the run.
Yes,
he was then in Kumasi.
Yes, but I arraigned those that have arrested.
Well, as I said, I don't have briefings on that part.
But you have briefly has to continue investigation.
So just finally on this one, because this member of parliament is from your side.
Yes.
So what's the plan? He's petitioning the IGP.
I don't like when you put this from my side. He's the elected representative of the people.
I'm Memphis West.
Yes.
But he's an NDC.
That's what it means.
Yes, no. When you do that, you dilute the issue.
How about the caucus?
No, hold on. He's not doing so even on behalf of the caucus. He is doing so on his own behalf.
On behalf of his constituents?
In his standing as the elected representative of the people of Amenfi.
So you're not going to give him any kind of support?
We are giving him support. But I'm saying when you do so, you dilute it.
Okay.
Yes, so don't dilute. This has become a topical national matter. And let it remain so.
So I can't ask what the caucus is supporting him with?
We are supporting him.
That's a legitimate question.
Yes, but you say that because it's on my side, then you begin to dilute it with politics.
Yes, sir.
Or partisan politics.
Okay, that's not the intention.
This matter is non-partisan.
That's not the intention.
Because you see, the National Security Operatives, they are beating government appointees.
Are they?
Delta Force people are going to beat this UOP and he says what?
It remains an allegation. It's not been proven.
What? Thank you. The man spoke to you. He spoke to your station.
Yeah, but that was his side of the story.
Yes, the narrative of the victim.
No.
The government comes to say, government comes to say that we sanctioned the operation because this UOP, his term of office has expired and he doesn't want to leave office. So the use of the supposedly reasonable force was acceptable to government. But they didn't simply use reasonable force.
That sounds
they brutalized the man.
That sounds like disorder, doesn't it?
Yes, I mean, that's anarchy. We are in a state of anarchy.
Oh, please.
That appears to be working.
Please.
I want us to move on so we can touch another issue.
That appears to be working. No formula.
Rebuttal.
No formula.
We are not in a state of anarchy. I mean, we both drove here in peace, and we are speaking in peace.
Yes, but no formula, no guidelines. National security is in the state of
the point I'm
no
making is that
guidelines.
if national security acts and their act goes off, I mean, outside the law, we can all condemn it. And for that, and you know, Mama, we have been here.
Merely condemnation.
Oh, I've been here
Sanctions must be applied.
Say that yes.
What is the next issue?
You're not moderating. I gave you 30. I can add another 32.
Thank you, Mama. But in this particular instance,
Mama, next issue.
In this particular instance, I think what the national security did was in the best interest of our country. I mean, we cannot continue.
Irrespective of the petition and the allegations of thievery.
Well, that can be investigated. But the point I'm making is that we cannot continue to allow people, Chinese and all other people, to come to this country and take us for granted. You know, what they did was on instructions, and they did what they were supposed to do.
We're waiting to hear from the IGP. That's where the petition has got into.
Don't use an illegality to fight an illegality.
At swooping or national security.
Procedure is important.
Okay, now I am moving on.
Thank you.
I am the number one on this.
Now you agree with me.
I want us to talk about this Achimota school issue. In fact, when the news first broke, when the High Court ruled, my guests, as we were discussing it, and I had a lawyer, I had people in education, they actually thought an appeal was far-fetched. They didn't see it coming. And then suddenly the board of Achimota, you knew the board of people. But now the Minister of Education says that it's not in their place.
It is. I will explain that. It is.
Okay, please tell us.
Now, I want to go into a bit of history. You see, if you gauge the conduct of the board, you see that they become intransigent. And when you sense intransigence in people, they don't give up. They believe in the conviction of their whatever position they hold.
Isn't that what we want boards to be?
No. Boards are not supposed to be unreasonable. In fact, they are not supposed to conduct themselves unlawfully. And I'll tell you why. The board doesn't even understand the school that they superintend.
Have they conducted themselves unlawfully?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. The board of governors of Achimota School, they don't even understand the school that they superintend over. Achimota School was conceived as a co-educational institution that was to take care of everyone. Do you know its motto? The motto says, ut omnis unum sint. That is Latin for the fact that all may be one. Black and white. If you look at the crest of Achimota School, it's a stylish design of a piano keys.
Black and white.
And one of the founders, Kwejiri Agri, settled on this because he says, when you are playing music with the piano, there are certain keys you can play with only the black keys. Certain songs or tunes, you can play with only the black keys. There are certain ones too you can play with only the white keys. But if you want to achieve harmony in music, you need both to function. So with this philosophical thinking in mind, he says Achimota must never be a school that would deny anybody the opportunity to receive education. So in 1923-24, the Legislative Council was impressed upon by Gojisbeck to approve a budget of £660,000 to establish Achimota as an educational institution for males. It was Agri and Fraser who impressed upon Gojisbeck and the rest to include females. So between 1924, when the school began, up to when it was opened officially on 28 January 1927, girls were admitted. Persons from all walks of life were given opportunity to be trained in Achimota School. It was an institution that that gave secondary education, trained teachers, and offered vocational education. Achimota was the source of supply of students for the establishment of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, the engineering faculty. The music faculty led to the establishment of the School of Music at Winneba. So Achimota School, it's not a kind of school that you can deny people the opportunity to get admitted. That is even my basic position. Now, if you go to our constitution, the constitutional provisions are very, very clear. In Articles 21, 1C, Articles 25B, Article 26(1), Article 34, Clause 1, Article 35, Clause 3, Article 35, Clause 4. If you read all this combined, a public educational institution in a 2021 Ghana, 100 years after the formation of Achimota School, cannot deny a Ghanaian child the right to be admitted on grounds that he wears dreadlocks. For Christ's sake, we are Nubians.
Well, that's why the issue went to court, right?
Hold on. We are Nubians. We are blacks. And by our nature, that is how our hair looks. So if somebody says that I won't cut my hair, that is exercise of his natural rights, inalienable rights. You can ask whether the hair in such a state is being kept well, neat, hygienic. How is it even possible that the Republic of Ghana is resisting the students in this matter?
Is it the Republic that's resisting?
It is the Republic.
Oh, because of the difference that was...
Yes, there's the presence of the Attorney General in this matter. And that is one of the sadness for me.
But how would we cross that bridge? I mean, the court ruled, right?
Yes.
So a decision was made. They were ordered to admit the students.
But they are back in court. But I want to tell them that an appeal does not operate as a stay of execution.
Yeah, but we understand that, you know, they have to go back to court for something that they'll present in the school. Explain that.
For something?
Because they can they just show up to be admitted?
First of all, the judgment will have to be entered within 7 days. So it has to be, there's entry of judgment. We call it, you have to file what we call entry of judgment within 7 days after the judgment has been delivered. So the lawyers, the applicants in this matter, will have to take steps. And when they do that, they will serve it on the school.
On the school, okay.
When it is served, then now you can execute.
Okay. Because we according to the registry, my last check was last night. Yeah. Because we all want to read exactly what the judge said, so that we will be able to question and put some of the issues across.
Yes, I agree.
But we all don't have it yet.
You know, the delivery of judgments and the certifying the true copy. You remember the Republic?
Hold on. We were here when the election petition.
Hold on. No, you see, I am just trying to give possible reasons why.
Oh, officer of the court, ask for this one.
The judgment may
delay.
The certified true copy may delay because of the topical nature of this matter.
The election petition was extremely topical.
I agree. But the judgment was delivered when?
This was Monday, wasn't it? Yeah.
No, I think
today's Wednesday. No, it was Monday.
Yeah. Today is Wednesday.
Monday 2 p.m.
I want to believe that by close of today, we will get the certified true copy.
You are indeed an officer of the court.
Yeah, we'll have the certified true copy. You know. And so for me, Mama, before...
I'll come back to you on this. I just want to get his input.
Yes, Mama, I think I've been listening to a lot of commentary about this issue, but listening to my honorable member, I think he's made one of the strongest case for the students, and I commend him for that. The history and everything that he's given us, I think that's very, very insightful. Mavi, I'm sad. I'm very sad because when I was in Precinct Mavi, in my dormitory, Muslims will be praying, and we Christians will be going to worship.
But this one is dreadlocks.
No, but I mean,
this one is locks.
Oh no. There was nothing irregular about it. I mean, I don't know why. Listen, GES, Ministry of Education. Mama, are you saying we don't have learned people, seasoned educationists in those institutions to bring all these parties together to resolve this matter? And for almost 2 to 3 months, every day we are discussing this matter. To the extent I had to go to court. I'm quite disappointed in the GES and the ministry. This matter, I believe there are too many intelligent people in those institutions to have brought cool heads to bear and solve this matter. My worry is the students. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was listening to them. Apparently, they are still home. These are kids who have qualified, have 8, some have 7 A's, 8 A's and all that.
They're brilliant.
I mean, what is this? What kind of trauma are you taking these kids through? What kind of trauma? Now you are being told that there's going to be an appeal. So if there is an appeal, these kids cannot go to school. They cannot be in school. Appeal can take... Mr. Dafemeko is a lawyer. And they know their tactics. It can take as long as 6-7 months.
Look, it can even take years.
What is this?
It can take years.
And what is this? So even if you cannot admit them as boarding students,
they don't want to be boarders.
So what is the
they are actually day students.
So what is the big deal about it? What is the big deal? A school of about 1,000 and something students, if 2 of them are Rastafarians and they are day students, what is so wrong about it? Or their fear is that when they admit them, it will open some kind of floodgate for any other person of any other religion. Anybody can dress anyhow and come to the school. I'm not sure that's going to happen.
They've had experts with hair looking like that in the past in the school.
I think we have too many intelligent. I feel shy.
But I have a question, though. I have a question, like I've been thinking. So this is it. It's not like they applied to the school direct. They sat for an exam, passed, and they give them their chosen schools. So they were placed by the Ghana Education Service.
Absolutely.
To Achimota School.
Yes.
So maybe the 2 of you can help me. If a school is refusing to take them, not because they didn't pass, is the GS Ministry of Education saying they can't do anything?
You are coming back to my point.
It's about leadership. That's the point.
It's as if there's no leadership.
Hold on. Not that there's no leadership. There is inactivity on the part of leadership from the ministry and leadership from the school management.
Yes.
Because you see, the admission is no longer in the hands of the school.
No.
That is why they moved from admission. I don't know why journalists will still stick to the word admissions. Now it is placement at their level.
Well, but apparently after you've been placed, you now have to go to the school.
Yes.
And get their guidelines.
Yes, it's
for them to admit you.
No, it's just regularization. They don't have, look, you can't, under the free SHS, you cannot refuse any student.
So
even on grounds of academic performance, you cannot.
Once the child has been placed.
Please, that's all. All you have to do is to tell the child what things you require.
But you see, that's just in the books. As we have
it
seen
is not.
And witnessed,
it is not.
They refuse them.
It is not. Other schools actually do that. That is why the question is, why is Achimota School doing this to children in the 2021 Republic of Ghana?
You mentioned the Attorney General.
Yes.
That's the President's chief
legal advisor.
Exactly.
So that is where the irony lies. The Attorney General last month told us in the Republic of Ghana, in this country, that LGBT plus people, they have rights. LGBT plus people. Look, I was in Parliament with a Rastafarian. Do you know the Honorable Ras Mubarak? Do you know he's the Rastafarian? You don't know. Ras Mubarak, until about 10 years ago, had Rasta.
Mr. Damamoko, he used to be a radio presenter.
Thank you.
Know.
Hold on. No, hold on. I'm just making a point. He was in Parliament with me. Very brilliant man. And he was a Rasta man. So the people should say that because he was a Rastafarian, he should not be voted into office. He served his people with distinction.
Well, here's and this is playing the devil's advocate. He didn't have locks when he was in Parliament, did he?
No, and I'll tell you why.
You've got colleagues who are Rastafarians who are lawyers, but they don't have locks.
No, I'll tell you why. you know, genetically, he began to grow bald. I would say it is my friend.
No, your fraternity, the legal fraternity, they don't tolerate that.
They do.
They do?
They do.
Is there?
Nobody can stop a Rastafarian from practicing. It's not even a criteria.
No. I'm talking about dreadlocks.
Why? You can go to court. I've seen women wear this in court.
No, I'm talking about men identified as Rastafarians.
What is the issue about men and women? It is neither. Neither is the point.
You know, I'm just asking so that we can appreciate the practicality of this.
Mama V, I am saying that I've seen a lot of women in court with this hairstyle.
Yeah, but their religion. We're talking about the religion.
Why? It's religion the issue.
Rastafarian.
It's not even the religion. It's not the issue.
So
it is the appearance. I'm telling you, the Achimota attitude is not about the religion. It's the appearance of the children. That is what they think, that it offends their sensibilities.
So answer my question, Mr. Honko.
Yes.
You're legal people.
Yes.
Do you know a Ghanaian lawyer who is Rastafarian?
Yes.
With dreadlocks?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Why? Nothing stops you.
Okay. I was just curious.
At all. In any case, the women go to very expensive extent to do artificial Rasta anyway.
No, mine is natural Rasta.
Exactly. And you will soon become a lawyer.
Amen.
And somebody will stop you from practicing. And so I am getting scandalized that you are not angry about the conduct and attitude of Achimota School. And you see, what the board is doing is not even reflective of the entire Achimota School. That is the tragedy of the matter.
So let's get back on track.
All right, we are back on track. So one, we should even determine whether the board, as presently constituted in Achimota School, have the mandate. You know, some of the board, a lot of the board, their mandates have expired. They've not been reconstituted.
The reason
the board composition,
Teaching Hospital said they couldn't reverse a decision taken by a certain board. Because it's not
when the board has proper mandate. Look, the board, they are institutional representations. It's constituted with all students, the chiefs in the area, the municipal assembly has representation, the regional director of education is actually represented or will sit on the board himself or herself, and the headmaster or headmistress. We need to know whether all of these, their mandate has properly been renewed.
Doesn't it go back to the education ministry? Who constitutes
exactly.
the board?
GS. So this matter, leadership is extremely important. This is not a matter that should even go to court in the first place. People are misbehaving in the name of the law when they themselves are breaching the tenets and provisions of our constitution.
So your constituents, they see when you're very passionate and you talk about these issues that concerns them on programs like this. How do you do that in Parliament? I mean, do you resolve the issues in Parliament as well?
We do.
So on this particular one, how?
You see, I think...
I wanted Mr. Adumakumesa to tell this one.
Okay, my brother.
I think before we rose, this issue had come up, and there was a heated debate in Parliament on this issue. I mean, there were divergent views. Others felt that, yes, the school had the mandate to regulate the activities within the school. So others supported the view that, yes, if the school is saying they cannot admit, yes, please seek other. Others also felt that, no, this is a matter of rights. And if the student had gained admission, so through the right channel, and they've been posted or admitted there, they should be able to be admitted and continue their education. So yes, it's something that we talk about really forcefully in Parliament. And as I said, there was a time in Parliament that this issue came up and there was a heated debate about it.
So do we look forward to an urgent questioning or
yes,
what?
you know, we, as part of our rules and orders in the standing orders, we are restrained as to matters that are before court, not to deal with the merits.
This one is not in court.
It's in court.
How? Court ruled. They are done.
Yes, but they are backing.
No, they are not. Have they filed anything?
Yeah, they have.
They've indicated their intention.
No.
Okay, they have. Okay, that's a different matter.
They have seen processes.
On the appeal.
Yes.
But this is not stay.
No.
Okay.
Okay, but you see, appeal is good. Appeal has reactivated the matter. Okay.
So no, you are clarify. So it's not stay. Does that mean that while the appeal is ongoing, the student can go to school?
If they file a motion on notice for stay of execution of the order of the court pending appeal, it's one of the 3 key grounds upon which you can file.
If that happens, then the kids cannot go to school until the determination.
No, yes, then it means the court orders cannot be executed. You know, there are some directives of the court that are non-executable. For instance, a declaratory order. You can't, that one, the court has spoken. There's nothing to be done after that. But this one is a directive. It has to be carried out. But they are seeking to torpedo that with an appeal. And once you file the appeal, then the next reasonable thing to do is to then pray. First, you pray the court that had the matter, that you want its judgment to be the directives that is supposed to, its orders to be stayed pending the outcome of the appeal. The court can agree with you or not. If the court refuses your application, you have the right to repeat it at the court of appeal.
All right. We'll see how this all pans out today. But I'm curious about the laboratory scientists, the health committee. What did you tell them? They said they've called off their strike.
Yes, they.
The fear, though, is that they can come back and say that you didn't do what you said you would do.
Well, we yesterday, yes, I was at the meeting, and we assured them that, of course, we are going to ensure that we go to the bottom of the issue. And that was an assurance we gave them. You know, they had petitioned us, and the base of their petition was that they had tried the ministry and all other people, and they were not having headway. So when they came, the first thing the chairman said was that, yes, if you have trusted us to petition us, then we will appeal to you to, first of all, call off your strike, and then trust us to deal with the issue.
Did you give timelines?
Okay, so yesterday we didn't give them timeline, because yesterday what happened was that we had opportunity for all the agencies that matter in this particular.
So there was Ministry of Health?
Ministry of Health was there. Yesterday they gave their presentation.
The GMA?
The GMA gave their presentation.
Health and Allied?
They gave their presentation yesterday, yes. So all of them, we gave them opportunity to let us know exactly what their
Physicians and surgeons?
They came.
Okay.
They came yesterday, and then they gave their explanations why they felt differently from what the allied workers were talking about. So by and large, we're happy. We thank them for respecting the committee and calling off the strike, because that for us was the most important.
So what's the committee going to do?
So now we will have to sit, after listening to all parties. We've now received the petition. As a committee, we'll be meeting, I think, on Friday or early next week, after having reviewed all the petitions that they've all brought. And then we'll take some steps and then reconvene a meeting, especially with the ministry. And then we can take some few decisions.
Was National Labour Commission present at this meeting?
Yes. Yesterday, the chief executive of the National Labour Commission.
But this is interesting.
Yes, they were all there.
National Labour Commission got a court order.
Yes.
But the striking workers simply...
Their point was that I think they just didn't have confidence within the...
No, I will explain that.
Yes. So they came, and the point was that... First, let me say thank you to them. It's very important that I say so, because really when they came and we explained the matters to them, they said, okay, that's fine. I mean, we are leaving it to you to handle it for us.
This is interesting. You met the executive, the leadership.
Yes, leadership.
And they say that the people at the base were taking their own actions, so they couldn't control them.
Interestingly, you know, they made very forceful arguments.
Yeah, if you listen.
Very
persuasive.
Persuasive arguments. And then when I listened to the GMA, I was like, the GMA has a point. And they also made very, very passionate arguments. But I enjoyed the presentation from the physicians and surgeons. I mean, the point was that, hey, lives matter.
Competition of minds.
Yes, it was like, life matter. Let's sit down and resolve our issues, because people go to the hospital and paying 20 cedis for just a jab. Now you have to go to a private institution and paying 1,000, 120, 150. It was causing problems. So cool heads prevailed yesterday, and as a committee, we'll quickly assess all the petitions that were presented to us yesterday. And I'm sure by next week, we should come to a firm conclusion on this matter.
We will be watching closely, Mr. Namawi.
Yes, Mama, labor unrest will rise all the time. Our duty is to address it, and address the concerns that give rise to the unrest. And that's what Parliament
And let me say thanks to Joy. It was live on JoyNews yesterday.
Parliament has done. So it's something we do all the time. Now, linking that with the situation in my constituency, the road from Chamay Junction to the hospital is in a very deplorable
Which hospital?
Government hospital at Peki.
Okay.
In fact, in South Nine, there's no good road in South Nine.
I was at Pembe.
Yes. There's no good road.
Lobby.
I have. For the past 5 years, if you see the number of questions I have filed, asking for 3 road projects that have been abandoned in my constituency. Todome to Germany, 21.3 kilometers abandoned. Eastern Corridor, 18 kilometers has been first phase of asphalt up to Ajokwe to Have. So the stretch is 45 kilometers abandoned. Peki Town roads, that's Jake to Enum, 5 kilometers abandoned. Peki Town, the community roads from Avetile Town roads, they are in a deplorable state.
Didn't I hear some of these towns in the budgets?
No, as for Volta region, this year, where the Eastern Corridor was completely taken out. No budgetary allocation. Last year it was, but nothing was done.
Then even when you lobby, where are they going to get the money to fix it?
But you see, something must be. We cannot be abandoned for 8-10 years. We can't for the past 5 years. It cannot be done.
Take me on a tour to in your constituency. Let's talk about the roads on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I'll take you on
And we
tour.
have to wrap up.
Yes.
But I'm willing to be your.
Yeah. So, but my plea is that let the regional highways or feeder roads come and do something as a matter of urgency about this 200 meters stretch from Chamay Junction to the hospital.
Okay.
Because when they bring people in vehicles and ambulance, the road to and I don't have funds. As we speak, our common fund for last quarter of 2020 has not been paid.
Well, I will roof on this road that you're talking about, so we can
have to. Something must be done. This one is a public appeal. Now the youth in Peki, they want to go on a demonstration. On this matter alone, and now I'm being called. So you know that in 2019 I had to buy cement, look for sand, look for concrete to be sealing the potholes on the Eastern Corridor.
How about the assembly?
The assembly is completely incapacitated.
Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen. We are not ending on a good note.
because my Peki, the Peki government road, the Peki government hospital road is in a complete deplorable state, and it's a burden for me.
Kindly send us pictures and videos.
I've sent video to the producer.
Okay, so we'll begin to tell your story.
I agree with
we have to wrap up.
I agree because I was at the funeral at Pele.
And then
3 weeks ago.
So you witnessed it.
I saw it.
So would you also advocate?
Of course,
it's my friend.
But my constituency, we are lucky.
Okay.
We are very lucky.
Don't have a
No. Our 2 major routes
has
been tarred.
Okay.
The second one.
So join us so that we can fix the picture.
There's no road in South Nine that is in a good condition. The only road in good condition is Avetile to Udome. That's the main town road. Finish.
Thank you, Jason.
Every other road is
we wish you well. We couldn't talk about the
I
vetting,
agree.
but that's also happening today. The vetting committee is sitting and they will be vetting the president's deputy ministerial nominees today. That will be live here on JoyNews. We've got other matters to discuss, so stay with us.
Mama, view my roads.
Oh, thanks for staying with us. You're still here on the AM show. We've got an interesting conversation that we're just going to jump into. My guest is Miriam Cranting. She's project manager, Enquiry Agency. They have an interesting recruitment ongoing. They're looking for volunteers for a project in Sierra Leone. You want to listen to every little detail of this one. Miriam, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So first of all, let's talk about Enquiry Agency. What do you do?
So Enquiry Agency is a career development and volunteer placement organization. We are into career fairs, workshops, business forums, and interaction sessions, as well as networking events.
Okay.
Basically, all we do is we do all our activities to provide a bridge between accomplished men and women, expatriates, businessmen, investors, and the youth as well. Yes.
Okay. So when you say, the career, these days, what are people asking for? Like, what kind of support are they needing?
Okay, so basically, from our experience in running our organization, we do something we called career-related volunteer placements, where you can opt for a volunteer placement in line with your career of interest.
Okay.
So if someone is, let's say, interested in journalism, we would place the person to volunteer with a professional like you within a month. We do realize the challenge with the whole career thing, basically amongst the youth, is sometimes most often is the lack of direction, especially from the part of the parents. They assume school is totally enough, and the child has to discover certain things for him or herself. But just like any other job, like if you want to be a hairdresser, you go as an apprentice. It is the same professionally, but that is the side day.
We're rolling some pictures, so you can talk us through. I saw Fritz. I think he's still there in that picture.
Yes, he's actually my dad. That's Honorable Fritz Buffer. He was at our career fair in the year 2018. We also had Dr. Zaneto. He spoke about politics and tourism and gave clear-cut, practical guidance to the youth, both university students, even graduates, as to what to do if you're out of school in this area. We also had Ambassador Cabral, who was the former ambassador of Ghana to Sierra Leone. He's also a journalist. He was also given certain direct guidance in line with those areas. There was a picture that wrote, that was a business forum in February. We had Mr. Mikel Nemesi there. He is the managing director of Aya Holdings. They are a company in Ghana, even though he's Italian, they're a company in Ghana that's into railways and stuff like that. So he came to talk about business, investing into Ghana, and if you are young, what you need to actually gain a job or expertise in line with such multinational organizations. So he was very passionate about our volunteer in Sierra Leone project, because he says he looks out for such things when he's actually employing people. If you are culturally diverse and you can work in such an environment.
So let's talk about that project.
So basically it's EVIS 2021, which is an acronym for Enquiry Agency Volunteer in Sierra Leone. So this is a 3-month volunteer program in partnership with Send Sierra Leone. They're a non-profit organization in Ghana. We say NGOs.
Yeah, we have Send Ghana. Are they related?
Yes, it's the same, yes. But this is with Send Sierra Leone. So they are a non-profit organization in Sierra Leone, and most of their core activities are in line with women empowerment and equality. So they provide funding for less privileged women in Sierra Leone, they provide water, and they teach them hand-on skills in Sierra Leone as well. So to volunteer on this project, you should have a skill set. It could be anything. Maybe you're into marketing, digital marketing, makeup, anything, journalism, basically. But you should have a diploma, a degree, or better. Yes, and this is a 3-month volunteer program, and volunteers will receive an allowance of 20 USD a day as part of the volunteer program.
How much is, somebody do the calculation, 20 USD a day is what in Ghana cedis?
That's, I would say almost, it's just a little above 100 CD equivalent. That's about 115 CDs equivalent.
But here's the thing, if you're volunteering, your focus shouldn't even be about the money or the allowance.
Yes, but it's, we've been doing this for 5 years now, championing the cause of volunteering, and it's not something that is widely understood in Ghana. So it takes time, but we are on it, because we also provide volunteer placements in Ghana as well. But let me focus on this project.
So how many people are you looking for?
About 5 for now. Yes, we'll be doing it session by session. So after this 3 months with the 5 volunteers going, when they come back, there will be another recruitment for another set. And then we'll also move on to Liberia, but Sierra Leone for now.
But you understand that now that you're on this show, you get plenty applications.
I'll be glad. I'll be glad. And and thank you to Joy TV for supporting volunteering in Ghana. I would also like to say, for the application process, you would have to visit our website. To apply, you have to email a personal statement. Okay. And I'd like to emphasize that a personal statement is not a CV. We want a personal statement.
So this is like a profile.
Exactly, exactly. Wow, you're one of the first people that's totally.
I should volunteer.
Yes. So this is a one-page personal statement, just a one-page personal statement, which should include your full name, your age, details of educational background, your skill set, and at least 3 reasons why you would want to volunteer. You can email the personal statement to info@enquiryagency.net. I'll repeat, info@enquiryagency.net or enquiryagency@gmail.com. I'd also like to emphasize that there are certain fees associated with our volunteer program due to stuff like the COVID testing we have to cover for and other stuff that we would actually explain if you had to WhatsApp us or call us. We'll go into details of all that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're chosen, you just pack your bags and leave?
Well, basically, yes. But if you are chosen, you'll be asked to make, there are no payments involved unless you are selected.
Okay.
So when you are selected, that is when you make the placement fee. After that, you'll be scheduled for a meeting. I'll probably be at the meeting myself as well. You'll be scheduled for a meeting so we can actually get to know you and know certain things that you probably may not have provided on your personal statement. Because we also like to know your health background and stuff like that. And after that, you'll also be scheduled for another 2-day orientation and then departure.
Okay.
Doesn't take.
Are you looking for single, married, any specifics, men, women?
If you are below 40, we are fine.
Okay.
Yes.
Then it doesn't matter if you're married or not.
No. But if you think your marriage is going to hinder your activities on the project, I wouldn't advise you apply. Okay. But if you are free to be on the project, because you will be going into rural Sierra Leone to educate women there. So you should be prepared for it. We don't want someone who will be saying, today I'm ill, tomorrow my back, the age, so you have to be vibrant because we are volunteering.
Is this the first time you're sending, or you will be sending people to Sierra Leone?
Yes, this is the first time we will be sending people to Sierra Leone, but this is not the first volunteer program we've had.
Okay, I'm curious about what you've done in the past.
Okay, so we've had certain career-related volunteer placements. We've had certain placements with professionals in the past. Like I mentioned, we also do job shadowing programs. So we've had students at the bench unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital before who wanted to be surgeons. So they spent a month with the surgeons there, going around looking at what surgeons do in the day. We've done that. We've had people volunteer with fashion designers like MSIMs, also under our job shadowing program. So we've done stuff like that. And we still do it. It's not in the past. You can apply any day for a career-related volunteer placement. Or currently, we are also recruiting volunteers for a non-profit organization in Ghana. They have been educating street children and less privileged children in Accra and Pediassi for over 16 years. And they are in dire need of volunteers. They cannot provide an allowance, but they are providing a certificate and a reference letter when needed. And I will advise any student to get on board with this, because gaining 4-year working experience, it's crazy when you're out of school because you've not even found a job. How do I get the experience? But when you participate in activities like this, you're able to network with certain people to build your portfolio and also gain experience. So if you would also want to volunteer on that project, we'll be so glad to have you on board.
Okay, so finally share your social media handles with us.
Okay, so on Instagram, you can follow us at Enquiry Agency Official. On Facebook, it's Enquiry Agency. On Twitter, it's E-Agency Official. And you can also check out our website, www.enquiryagency.net. For further enquiries, please WhatsApp us on 024-816-5851. 024-816-5851.
All right, Miriam, thank you very much. Maybe some other time we can talk about you.
Sure. I was on one of your shows recently, the Joy Business Van.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Nice. So I can bring you in here so that your
I'll be
story
honored.
would also inspire others to volunteer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, because I did volunteer a year of my life. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Stay with us. When we come back, we've got the update on the National Science and Maths Quiz. Well, really, we're talking about that now. As 2019 winners of the World Robotics Competition held in the US, they were convinced no school will be a hurdle in their dream of qualifying for the main competition in October. The girls from Manfi Methodist Girls High School were confident of victory ahead of the contest, but Suhum Presek dashed their hopes by beating them with just 2 points in the final round. Here we go.
Methodist Girls High School just arrived here at the Nut Hall. They are taking part in the first contest, and already the girls are excited. They are noted to be the best when it comes to the RoboFest and all of that. So many are expecting them to put up a very spectacular performance here.
Okay, so we are actually not anxious because we have done it before internationally, and we are here to take this one too. Of course, I hope you've heard of robotics, and this is just science and maths quiz. Oh, please expect the best.
Maggie's girls, Maggie's girls, Maggie's girls, pride of the East, pride of the East, pride of the East. Stand firm, remain focused. The Maggie's girls, pride of the East.
That was before the contest, but in the last round, during round 4, Suhum Presek answered a question correctly on the first clue, and that earned them 5 points. That put McGee's out of the competition, and the girls were very sad that they couldn't qualify for the national competition in October.
So I start with the first riddle. I am a state of matter. Yes.
Plasma state.
That is incorrect. Suhum Presby.
Solid.
That is correct. So I was on the first clue, they get 5 points. Oh, this is so painful and heartbreaking. Maxwell Agbagba is live from the Nat Hall in Koforidua. I don't have the vim today. Maxwell, yesterday, just when the Manfi girls arrived, I think that's when we're just about wrapping up and you were all over them. To think that they were beaten just by 2 points, this is painful. How did it all end? I mean, I know it was sad, but how did they finally get away?
Yeah. It was very heartbreaking in the hall because a lot of people expected them to win, and things just changed dramatically in the last round. So Suhum Presek, really, they were not, in so much into the competition because they were not even at the end of round 3. The competition was not between McGee's and then Suhum Presek. Now, they were able to answer a last question correctly on the first clue. The riddle, the first line of the question was read. They rang the bell. First school rang the bell. They got it wrong. They rang second, and then they got it right. And that gave them 5 points. And that helped them to overtake McGee's, because McGee's then they were leading with about 3 points. And that was the end for Methodist Girls High School. Unfortunately, they would have to wait for next year before they can take part in the National Science and Maths Quiz. Unfortunately, they will not be on the national stage this year. But today, we have 3 contests taking place today. And then one of the schools that will be taking part in that contest, Okwapeman SHS, they've arrived here on the ground. I'll be talking to their assistant headmaster in charge of academics shortly. But here are the guys from Okwas. Hello, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so how do we know that Okwas is here? Yeah.
Over the years, we know that our performance has not been so good, but this year we are poised to succeed, and we are at our explosive best and prepared to deliver with a lightning flash.
Okay. Yep. We want to hear your anthem. You know, that's what. That's how we get to feel that you are here. So let's feel that.
Okay.
All right. Let us sing great Okwa's name. Let us spread great Okwa's fame, extolling chorus to the sky, the bright star on the mountain high, that so sparkles in purity, that blesses all with and bounty, in all the mighty Okwa's that it always strives for the best class. Sing clear and loud, semper primus. Sing loud and clear, semper primus. Make it known over whole world's radiance that great Okwas is always there.
Okay, so we have with us here also the assistant headmaster in charge of academics. Let's talk to him. Let's find out how prepared they are for today's contest. Sir, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you.
How prepared are you for today's contest?
We are really prepared, and even our arrival here first and the time indicates we've really poised for action. Yes, we've really prepared well. Over the last few years, we've not been able to make it to the national level, and this year we want to be there, and so we've really prepared. We've really prepared, and like I've indicated, our presence here at this time and the action you've seen, we've really prepared, and we are sure to win our contest and move on to the next stage.
Yeah, yesterday I spoke to the assistant headmaster of Impriasu Secondary School and was telling me about the huge investment made by the old students of his school. What role are the old students of Okwapeman Senior High School playing in all of this?
We'll be very ungrateful if we don't mention the old students, the Adeshi. They've done really, I don't want to mention the financial packages, but it has come fast and thick. And so we have a rock, solid rock behind us, and that is giving us the energy. So, like I said, we have really prepared, and we'll move on. We'll move on. I'm not, but I know my boys and girls, the preparation that has gone into up to this morning, I know we are going to do well with the help of God and with the cheers and the loud voices behind the scenes from the old students. I know we are going to move on. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I know in those days we used to say Hedi or. Thanks so much for talking to us. Wait.
Alfazo.
What's the meaning?
Alpha. Alexander Alpha.
Oh, okay.
His initial.
Interesting. So you just heard from the assistant headmaster of Okwapeman Senior High School. He's in charge of academics. We have another school arriving right now. We want to find out which school is arriving. The second school is arriving here on the ground.
Okay.
It is New Insitem Senior High School. Yeah, okay. So they are arriving here on the ground. New Insitem Senior High School. They're taking part in the first contest for the day, Mama.
Okay, all right, Maxwell Agbagba. If you like, ushering the bus in to the Koforidia Nat Hall as they get ready to take part in this context. The first one scheduled for today. Maxwell will be bringing us a lot more updates. So Maxwell, thanks a lot. Maxwell Agbagba is my colleague following and giving us updates on the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz. This is the Eastern Region competition. Remember, we still don't know who the champions are for Eastern Region. We'll get to know by the close of the week.